as a person staring back at me in the mirror. The results are truly mind-blowing.
What I'm about don't want it to work. They want to keep you fat, keeping you a customer for life. The last thing they want is for you to discover the secret I'm about to reveal. But time is ticking, and I don't know how much longer we have. So please stop everything you are doing right now and watch this video until the very end. In the following band presentation, you'll be shocked when you discover the real reason you can't lose weight that has nothing to do with your genetics, gender, what you eat, or when you eat it, or anything else that you've been told. And the reason that some people stay slim no matter what they eat and always look great in that figure-hugging dresser suit, while you starve yourself, spend hours on the treadmill, and still can't shed a single pound. You'll be amazed when you discover the Oriental ritual that destroys fat cells overnight and the exact step-by-step breakdown so you can start right away at home. You'll be disgusted when you realize some of the biggest weight loss experts are actually feeding you and millions of others information that's supposed to make you thinner, but instead increases hunger, slows metabolism, and enlarges fat cells every time you do them. Plus, I'll share scientific studies from prestige universities to show how and why this Oriental ritual works. Plus, a few very shocking revelations along the way that you are going to want to see. Now is the time to cut loose from the chains of being fat once and for all. Are you ready? As I mentioned earlier, my name's Pete Jackson. I'm not a doctor, nutritionist, or social media influencer. Instead, I'm a 44-year-old retired staff sergeant, father of 3 wonderful kids, and live with my wife Sarah in Wichita, Kansas. In 2008, I was on a routine patrol in Iraq that quickly turned into a very dangerous and frightening full-on firefight, leaving many of my colleagues badly injured, some critically. I tell you this because I know what it's like to lose control. Just like a routine patrol can turn in the blink of an eye into a deadly situation, so can your body. And that's what happened to my wife and me, and probably you too. It all started over 20 years ago. We were high school sweethearts and both extremely athletic. Like most young people, we took our health for granted, enjoying life and everything that came with it. Sure, we were young, but we knew we wanted to spend the rest of our lives together. So at just 22, we decided to marry. Then, at 27 years old, Sarah fell pregnant with our son Thomas. During her pregnancy, she put on around 30 pounds, which after he was born came off faster than it went on. A few meals skipped, some steady cardio, and just like that, it was gone. 8 years later, she fell pregnant with our second, Annabelle, and this time she gained a lot more weight, 60 pounds to be exact. She had become obese with a BMI of over 38, and our family doctor confirmed what we already suspected. Sarah had to lose weight or possibly suffer serious health issues or worse. But this time, it was different. What had worked for her before stopped working, and the fat wouldn't budge. I mean, she tried everything, and we spent thousands. Keto overweight men are 67% more likely to have a heart attack, stroke, heart failure, or cardiovascular. Sarah's fault, he said. You know those massive corporations? The ones who sell you healthy shakes, meals, and exercise plans? They know full well that they don't work. All of the countless medical studies make this abundantly clear to anyone who has bothered to look, and I assure you they have looked. You see the whole industry as a giant fraud because they never address the actual underlying problem of obesity. I mean, you might shrink your fat cells for a short time, but soon after you will pile it back on again, plus a bit more. A recent study by an Australian university followed 17,000 people using popular diets such as keto, Weight Watchers, and Atkins. After 6 months, only a tiny fraction had lost weight, and a massive 67% were actually heavier than when they started. Worse still, dieting can actually be dangerous, including increased risk of heart disease, long-lasting negative impacts on metabolism, thinning hair, and osteoporosis. And unfortunately, a slow metabolism can be permanent. A recent study showed that after stopping dieting, your metabolism can be damaged. This means you now have to eat even less to maintain the same weight, said Professor Anwar. The truth is, slim people don't diet. They don't have to. And in just a moment, all reveal the simple yet extraordinarily powerful reason why, backed up by hundreds of medical studies, as well as the Oriental shortcut you can use today for yourself and take back control of your weight. I mean, how often do you hear that to lose the fat you must grind away hour upon hour of tedious exercise? The thinking goes that exercise helps you burn calories, so it helps you lose weight. While this may sound like logical sense, it simply isn't true. A study published in the American Journal of Medicine that reviewed and analyzed 14 randomized controlled trials of over 1,800 people concluded that isolated aerobic exercise is not an effective weight loss therapy in obese or overweight patients. This is thought to be due to people tending to vastly overestimate how much energy they actually burn, so end up overcompensating and actually eat more. Excessive exercise also causes an increase in cortisol, also known as the stress hormone, which has been shown to encourage fat storage, particularly around the belly and face. So, in other words, all those hours of grinding away hour upon boring hour on the exercise cycle can actually be for nothing, even though that's exactly what most trainers and weight loss companies recommend. The average dieter spends over $110,000 during their lifetime trying to lose weight, and almost half of all Americans are considered obese. It's a multi-billion-dollar business that they will do anything to protect, said Professor Anwar. Because although it's hard to believe, you've been purposefully lied to. These factors have no influence whatsoever on the long-term number on your scale. I felt sick imagining the multi-millionaire CEOs of these companies enjoying their riches at the expense of people like Sarah and even you. Professor Anwar paused for a second. Look, I can see you are desperate. He pulled out a pen and started writing a list of herbs and spices. What is this? I questioned. It's the answer to your problems. I cannot go into specifics because I've been silenced by big corporations and even governments, he said nervously. I'm not supposed to be telling you this, but I can't allow them to keep this from the people that need it the most anymore. We don't have obesity in the Sumatra Islands. It's not even in our vocabulary. And this is why. Just stir a heaped spoonful of the blue mixture into a cup of water and drink it before you go to bed. You will sleep like a baby. Now I have to go. They may be watching me. As soon as the professor left, I quickly started researching this bizarre recipe. First was valerian root, a miraculous superfood native to the Sumatra Islands. Valerian root has been used in traditional Indonesian medicine to treat anxiety, headaches, and abdominal pain for centuries. But more importantly, it's one of the most clinically studied herbs in the world for sleep disorders. A 2018 study published in Science Direct found that it helped promote NREM sleep, the type of sleep where your body repairs and heals itself, by a massive 53%. And in 2011, a high-quality clinical study found that valerian root significantly improved sleep quality in postmenopausal women. This got me thinking. Sarah had always complained about being tired and exhausted her whole adult life, and I had assumed it was just due to her size. But the more I began researching, the more shocking it got. Because it's estimated that over half of all Americans have some type of undiagnosed sleep disorder. And a lack of sleep does more than just make you look and feel like crap. Scientific studies have shown that it actually causes more harm than smoking in the long term. But what does sleep have to do with weight loss? I had no idea until I dug deeper and struck gold. A study from the Department of Nutritional Sciences and Dietetics at Hellenic University found that sleep-deprived dieters lost 55% less fat than a well-rested dieter eating the same amount of calories. A second study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that when people were starved of sleep, late-night snacking increased, and they were more likely to choose high-carb snacks. Two pooled studies, the largest of their kind, 634,511 participants and 197,906 participants found one common factor in every overweight man and woman: lack of sleep. Another study concluded that older adults who had disrupted sleep increased their risk of obesity by 40%. And another study by the Sleep Medicine Clinic concluded that poor sleep resulted in an increase in appetite and an inability to control hunger, resulting in obesity. And even though you may think you are sleeping well, your body may not be falling into the deep restorative sleep needed to sustain a healthy weight and toned physique. As I dug deeper, I uncovered study after study all saying the same thing. Disrupted sleep results in obesity, even if you are starving yourself and exercising religiously. You see, your lack of quality sleep is the real root cause of your unexplained belly fat and accelerated aging, and puts you at much higher risk of heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes, and depression. But don't start booking your flight to Sumatra Island to harvest some valerian root yet. Because second on Professor Anwar's list was a magical substance, Humulus lupulus, commonly referred to as hops, a fast-climbing perennial used in Eastern medicine for centuries to improve digestion, skin quality, treat inflammation, and even improve sexual performance. But the best part, a study published in the Journal of Sleep Disorders and Therapy showed that Humulus lupulus aided in natural nocturnal sleep patterns. Can you imagine the power of combining valerian root and Humulus lupulus together? But that's not all, because next on the list was Griffonia simplicifolia, an exotic seed from the Sumatra Islands that contains 5-hydroxytryptophan, or 5-HTP for short, a powerful natural chemical that scientists have found, yes, you guessed it, helped promote a restful night's sleep. 5-HTP also has a positive effect on mood, anxiety, and appetite, with several studies showing it can substantially aid weight loss by increasing feelings of fullness and satiety. Recently, Dr. Oz featured 5-HTP on his show as a powerful weight loss supplement and appetite suppressant. Next was spirulina, a vivid blue superalgae. Spirulina was successfully used by NASA as a dietary supplement for astronauts on space missions as one of the most powerful, concentrated foods available to mankind for strengthening the immune system and removing toxins from the body. Studies published in the British Medical Journal show that supplementing with spirulina can reduce blood glucose levels, lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol levels, increase feelings of fullness, and reduce obesity. And finally, berberine, a naturally occurring compound used in traditional Eastern medicine for decades. Over 2,800 clinical studies show berberine's amazing ability to reduce blood sugar, increase weight loss, lower cholesterol, and treat insomnia, with several doctors stating that berberine outperforms Valium as a natural sleep aid. It was all starting to make sense to me, but one thing still bothered me. Why was it that when we were younger, we could eat whatever we wanted and never gain a pound? It couldn't be as simple as old age, because 40 years ago, pretty much everyone was thin, and nowadays we have obese children and teenagers. And then it all fell into place. I came across a little-known obesity study at the Simón Bolívar University in Barranquilla, Colombia, that tracked students that used mobile phones. Researchers found participating men and women were 63.9% more likely to be overweight and 57.4% more likely to be obese, with all at a higher risk of heart disease. And the deeper I dug, the more I found. Study after study linking the blue light emitted from mobile devices, laptops, and computers with sleep disruption and obesity. Could this be the cause of Sarah's unexplained weight gain and the reason Professor Anwar's research was being held back by multi-billion-dollar companies? Because if this information got out, it could wreak havoc on the industry. I needed the help of an expert, so I tracked down the leading sleep and anti-aging specialist in the country, Dr. Henry Stokes. He usually worked with celebrities, movie stars, and pro athletes, and I must tell you, it cost me an arm and a leg, but I had to get to the bottom of this, so went ahead anyway. Our initial consultation was great, and he explained how it's impossible to know if someone has a disrupted sleep pattern just from a physical examination. He wanted to monitor Sarah's sleep with a sophisticated device she had to wear at night for 1 week. I had to laugh because she looked like some kind of cyborg, but we needed the data. And after 7 nights, we returned to Dr. Henry for the results. So I have your results here, and you are correct. Sarah's body almost never enters into the deep sleep pattern needed to repair damaged cells. It's actually one of the worst cases I've seen, he said. It's no wonder Sarah hadn't been able to lose any weight no matter what she had tried. You see, it's actually widely misunderstood The actual number of hours you sleep is fairly meaningless. It's the amount of quality sleep you get, because this is when the body is able to repair and restore itself. Deep sleep actually impacts everything within your body, from your immune system to your heart, brain, memory, and even how fast you age. And most importantly, it's when the body makes and releases certain chemicals and hormones, specifically testosterone, estrogen, and what some like to call the fountain of youth, human growth hormone. All of which have a massive effect on the composition of the human body. There is a little-known secret in Hollywood, but they all supplement with these hormones. That superhuman physique you see on the movie screen is built with testosterone and HGH. The actress, seemingly perpetually youthful, is taking estrogen and HGH. The profound effect these natural hormones have on your physique, aging, and general well-being cannot be understated. And vice versa. When you have an imbalance of hormones, your body ages prematurely and you will gain weight. I showed Dr. Henry my research about sleep disruption by mobile devices and how it causes obesity. But why is it that some people are not affected by this, I asked. Your research is 100% correct, he said. Not all people are fat. Everyone knows that one annoyingly slim friend or family member that can eat whatever they want and never gain an ounce. Yet when you so much as look at a piece of food, you gain 5 pounds. In fact, there is no secret. These studies prove that some people are just more resilient to the sleep-disrupting blue light given off by electronic devices than others that get rapid weight gain. And the older you get, the less your body can handle the stress. And as we know, the bigger you are, the more chance you have of deadly health conditions like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and even cancer, which kill millions every year. I showed Dr. Henry Professor Anwar's recipe and the peer-reviewed studies by top universities. What do you think of this, I asked. I've heard of some of these herbs, he said, but I have never seen them mixed like this before. It all makes sense from a scientific perspective, but you would have to try it and see. I was so excited. I wanted to get started with this powerful, life-changing recipe straight away. I felt like I'd struck gold, but there was only one problem. I didn't know where to source the high-quality tropical herbs and, more importantly, test them to make sure they were 100% pure for maximum potency. I spent many weeks and searched high and low, but in the end, after spending over $2,000, I didn't have a day's worth of the recipe. I needed help, and there was only one guy I knew with this type of expertise, Dr. Henry. Pete, he said, I'd love to help. In fact, I have a full team of the best doctors and health experts under my supervision that can assist too. Over the next few weeks, Dr. Henry and his team sourced every ingredient on the list, tested and verified with third-party laboratories to be safe and of the highest purity. Dr. Henry's team even suggested a few more safe natural ingredients that would work in synergy for a more potent boost. First recommended by Head of Research Dr. Thomas, inulin powder, a natural type of prebiotic beneficial for a type of gut bacteria that actually tells your body to stop eating. Researchers at Imperial College London found that supplementing with inulin not only reduced cravings for junk food, but also made them eat smaller portions. Taking inulin daily can also help improve the quality of your sleep. In one study, participants who took inulin woke less during the night and spent more time in deep sleep. Another study found women who regularly consumed inulin reported improved sleep quality and less fatigue throughout the day. That's why Dr. Thomas decided to add double the dose of inulin for maximum effect. The second, recommended by Chief Medical Officer Professor Lim from Singapore, black cohosh root, a perennial herb native to North America. A double-blind, placebo-controlled study found black cohosh had huge sleep benefits for adults, with increased sleep efficiency and less waking after sleep onset. It's also used to treat anxiety, pain, and even menopausal symptoms. And lastly, number 3, lutein, a naturally occurring formidable antioxidant recommended by Dr. Young from Japan. He told Dr. Henry about a little-known study from France that shows lutein acts as a filter for sleep-disrupting blue light exposure and actually fights the free radical damage brought on by blue light exposure. It also reduces bad cholesterol, and best of all, it rejuvenates and repairs old cells, including the appearance of aging skin. Pretty amazing, right? Dr. Henry and his team spent almost a full year testing, analyzing, and reformulating our blue light-busting magical superfoods. The result? A super potent combination over 6 times as strong as the original recipe. Taken at the right time of day, this fat-melting blue tonic would reset your body's circadian rhythm, allowing you to fall into a deep and restful sleep while your body reverses the damage that decades of being overweight and interrupted sleep has caused. His team then sourced bulk orders of each ingredient from licensed and trusted suppliers from the Sumatra Islands and around the world to secure the very best prices. As soon as the first batch arrived, Sarah took her first dose just before bed. The results? Well, they were more than spectacular. In just 3 days, she had higher energy, better mood, and felt an increased zest for life. And by the end of the first week, she'd lost over 5 pounds. She hadn't made a single change to her lifestyle, didn't do any exercise, didn't change her diet, still eating all the delicious foods like pizza and cookies she loved so much. How was this possible? Maybe it was the placebo effect, I rationalized, and she was going to regain the lost weight quickly. Yet by the end of the second week, she dropped another 7 pounds. Every day she would wake up and another 1 to 2 pounds had dropped off her at an incredible speed. I was actually worried she was losing weight too fast. But Dr. Henry assured me that it was perfectly fine. And in a matter of weeks, she'd go on to lose an incredible 63 pounds of stubborn fat from her face, belly, arms, hips, and thighs, going from this to this amazing lady I'm proud to call my wife. The Sarah I knew and loved was back. Every morning she told me how refreshed she felt. The aches and pains were gone and she felt alert and alive. Her face looked younger and more radiant than it had been in at least a decade. And the excess belly, arm, legs, and hip fat that had plagued her for so long had gone. Her body looked like she was 21 again, and people noticed. She was showered with compliments from friends and family, and instead of wanting to hide away from the world, she felt confident to show off her new slim and toned body. And not only did Sarah love her new slim toned body, but she loved mine too. Because I used this simple hack on myself to drop 8 inches from my waist and reveal the abs again I hadn't seen in years, while still enjoying my favorite beers and food. It's like being high school sweethearts all over again. We can barely keep our hands off each other, revitalizing our lives and bringing that spark back to our marriage that had been sorely missing. It all seems so simple now. After years of struggle, failure, and lies from weight loss gurus, just one small drink before bed has completely changed our lives. The only thing you'll be worried about is which figure-hugging outfit you'll be going to wear that day. When Dr. Henry saw us again, he was astonished at our transformations. In fact, he barely recognized Sarah. "You look amazing," he said. "And what's even better is your blood markers are all now within normal ranges. You've lost over 60 pounds since we last met. That's about 6 dress sizes, and your blood pressure and cholesterol levels are like that of a 21-year-old. And your resting heart rate is only 55, similar to that of a professional athlete. Best of all, your test results show that you are sleeping at 96% efficiency. And that's why your health and weight have made such extraordinary reversals. Imagine how you will feel when your results are the same." After so many years of despair, we both felt like our lives were starting again. I was convinced it was a miracle. God had blessed us by revealing the most amazing health formula ever. I wanted to share it with the world. But Dr. Henry said we needed more proof that it would work for every overweight man and woman the same way it had worked for Sarah and me. He organized a clinical study of 2,578 men and women from 18 to 80, ranging from 30 pounds to 250 pounds overweight. Each participant was given several months' worth of our product and told to take it with a glass of water before bed. The results came in thick and fast and were more incredible than any of us could have ever imagined. Every single participant had amazing results and their cravings vanished. The average weight loss in the group was 53 pounds, and 95% lost at least 25 pounds. Most experienced increased energy, a reduction in aches and pains, lower stress levels, better mood, enhanced sex drive and performance, greatly improved blood sugar, lower blood pressure, and improved cardiovascular health. Several of them could even see their abs for the first time ever. The formula had actually worked on everyone. Regardless of how much they had to lose, their metabolism, their genetics, their previous failed attempts at trying to lose weight. In fact, the best results seemed to be for those who struggled the most in the past, because many months later the weight stayed off. Most of the participants described our product as life-changing. They felt complete freedom for the first time in decades and were able to eat whatever they wanted without worries for the first time in their lives.
My arms are toned, and my double chin has disappeared. After failing so many times before, I wasn't sure I could do it. But this has actually felt effortless. Taking back control of my life is the best feeling ever.
42 pounds lost in 6 weeks. My energy's through the roof, and I'm able to play with my grandkids again and go on
to stop us because they can't patent any of the natural ingredients in this formula. So trying to replicate it doesn't make any sense. It would end up costing them billions in lost profits they made by treating the symptoms and consequences rather than the root cause. We are an absolute nightmare for them. I know that they're going to do whatever they can to shut us down, blocking us from getting into the pharmacies and health food shops. That's why we've decided not to delay another day and make the formula available on this site right now. Because today, I'm excited to introduce Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic. It's the most powerful and effective natural weight loss supplement in the world. The first ever all-natural treatment that targets the actual root cause of excess belly fat and accelerated aging from blue light exposure and deep sleep disruption. In fact, we're so confident that it's going to be a game changer that we took our whole life savings and found a highly reputable natural health supplement manufacturer to mass produce it for us. They are both GMP certified and FDA registered, and everything is made here in the U.S. to guarantee the highest possible levels of purity, potency, and safety. We source the best quality ingredients in plant extracts and manage to formulate them into an easy-to-swallow capsule that you can take before bed. And we ship it straight to your door. Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic is non-GMO and doesn't contain any dangerous stimulants or toxins. Because, to be honest, you should never take risks when it comes to your health, and that's why we won't cut any corners. Losing weight with Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic is so simple and much more effective than any exercise or diet plan being pushed by the so-called fitness experts and nutritionists. Imagine never having to endure the pain and frustrations of yo-yo dieting and depriving yourself of your favorite foods again. Imagine how it's going to feel when your friends are green with envy at your incredible body transformation, begging you for your secret. Just imagine for a second, truly let yourself feel what that would be like. How much would that be worth? $10,000? $100,000? $1 million? It is, of course, not something that you can put a price tag on because the results are priceless. But trust me, I'm not in this to make money. I truly want to help as many people as possible, God willing. But for this formula to work, the ingredients need to be of the highest quality. So to keep the price low and to be able to cover my costs, as well as getting this message out to as many people and as quickly as possible, I'm willing to let you have it today at the lowest price possible. So you're not going to need to pay anything like $10,000. You won't even have to pay the $600 that a business consultant suggested was fair, or even half of that. The amount I charge for a 1-month supply of Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic is just $297. But instead of you paying that amount today, I'm going to do something that's somewhat risky. You see, although $297 is more than a fair price, especially when you consider that many customers have told us that without all those cravings, they are saving more than that alone in food costs every month. But I know the fear, pain, and helplessness of watching your loved ones gain pound after pound and not being able to do anything to help. And that's something I don't want others to experience. You see, the last thing I want is for anyone else to needlessly suffer like Sarah did for so long, just for the reason of not being able to afford this solution. So I'm not going to ask you for $297. I'm not even going to ask you for half of that. Today, I'm going to give you a full 30-day supply of Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic for a simple one-time fee of only $69. Yep, that's right, just $69. That's a whopping 80% off. But before you secure your supply, I need to make something very clear. To see the best health-changing benefits and maximum weight loss results, you're going to want to take Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic for at least 90 days straight. That's because after so many years of your body being overloaded with blue light and sleep disruption, it will need enough time to properly adjust, fight the inflammation, rebalance your hormones, and reset your circadian rhythm. And because I can't promise how long I'll be able to keep it at today's price, I would hate when you come back to order your next 30-day supply, you'll find that either the price has gone up, or even worse, that the big corporations have somehow managed to close me down. So when you look in the mirror, and no more counting calories or trying useless fads. You've already gone through almost this entire message, so it's clear you're serious about getting in the best shape and health of your life. But the decision is yours. Now, we're being honest and open with each other, and I don't want you to miss out. So if you want to opt for the smart decision, click a package below to place your order. Once again, the shipping today is totally free for all 6-bottle orders, and you won't be enrolled in an automatic billing subscription or anything similar. Also, remember that you are covered by our 90-day money-back guarantee. So even if you're not thrilled with your new slim and sexy figure after you finish your supply, 100 pounds to lose is irrelevant. How long will it take to see results? Everybody is different, and that's why the time it takes to get results varies. What I can tell you is that most people notice their clothes feel looser after just the first week. Their belly also starts to look smaller, and they begin to feel lighter. And the longer you use Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic, the better your results tend to become. In most cases, friends and family will start to beg you for your secret before just 60 days. What is inside Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic? Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic is made up of a proprietary blend of 8 natural ingredients proven to target the root cause of unexplained weight gain from blue light exposure and lack of NREM sleep. They are valerian root, humulus lupulus, Griffonia simplifolia or 5-HTP, berberine, spirulina blue, black cohosh, lutein, and inulin powder. What if it doesn't work? If you're skeptical, I understand, I was too, but I am 100% sure that Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic will work for you the same way it's already worked for 125,820 others. Still, I know the only way you're going to be totally convinced is by trying this amazing formula and experiencing the incredible transformation for yourself. That's why I want you to feel completely comfortable when you order today. So just try Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic out. And if you're not totally thrilled with the results, simply email me for a full and courteous refund, no questions asked. How can something so powerful be safe? What are the side effects? Sumatra Slim Belly Tonic is an all-natural formula that contains only ingredients that are completely safe. We've not experienced a single negative side effect yet after having tens of thousands of people taking it. And to ensure the highest quality and safety standards, everything is manufactured here in the United States. In other words, you can rest assured that what you're getting